I buried an apple core in my vermicompost bin and checked it every day for 2 weeks. The worms just completely ignored it. Didn't touch it. Let it go to mush. Meanwhile, the coffee grounds I'd added the same day, gone in 4 days, completely consumed. They attacked it like it was an all-you-can-eat buffet. Same bin, same worms, completely different results. It turns out red wigglers are way more picky eaters than anyone tells you. If you don't understand what they want, and even more importantly, when and how much, you're going to end up with a bin that's full of dying red wigglers and rotting food. Hi, Carol from Almost 2 Acres. Let me show you exactly what they do eat and the mistake that kills a whole lot of worm bins. Let's not do that.
Not all kitchen scraps are equal. Here's the green, yellow, red light system. These foods get the green light. Go ahead and feed them freely. Vegetable scraps, peels, cores, ends, and stems. Fruit scraps, in moderation, see yellow light. Coffee grounds and paper filters. Tea bags, remove the staples. Crushed eggshells, in small amounts. Cooked vegetables, cooled completely, no oils or butter. Plain grains, oatmeal, rice, pasta, in small amounts. Shredded paper and cardboard, this is food and bedding. Those were your staples. Use them with no worries. These following foods get the yellow light. Use them only sparingly. Citrus peels, they're acidic, so use only 1 orange peel per week max. Onions and garlic, worms don't really love them, but small amounts are okay. Bread and baked goods, they mold quickly and attract pests. Very acidic foods like tomatoes, use these only in very small amounts. Fruit scraps in general, they're sugary, attracting fruit flies if not buried well. Those foods aren't forbidden, but just use moderation and remember to bury them well. This list of food gets the red light. Never feed these to your composting worms. Meat, fish, and bones. Dairy products, cheese, milk, yogurt, butter. Oils, fats, and grease. Pet waste, diseased plants, heavily processed foods with preservatives, anything non-organic, plastic, foil, etc. Are you wondering why these are forbidden? Meat and dairy go rancid, create horrific smells, attract rats and flies, and can harm worms. Oils coat worm skin and suffocate them. This isn't negotiable. Just don't do it. You may have heard about worms and coffee grounds. Worms love coffee grounds. You can feed these heavily. The acid concern is overblown. Grounds are actually fairly neutral pH after brewing, and worms thrive in them. This is how to prepare the food for the bin. Smaller pieces will have faster processing. Here's how you should do it. Method 1. Chop it. Use a knife or kitchen scissors to chop scraps into 1 to 2 inch pieces. This creates faster breakdown and is easier for worms to process. Method 2. Blend it. Keep a container in the freezer all week. When it's full, blend it into a slurry. This is the fastest processing method. Freezing breaks down cell walls, which speeds decomposition even more. Method 3. Food processor. Pulse scraps into small chunks. This is the middle ground between chopping and blending. Do you have to do this? No, you can throw whole scraps in. They'll just take longer to break down, weeks instead of days. It's totally up to you. Here's why you may prefer scrap preparation. There's faster processing, so you get more frequent worm casting harvesting. There's less chance of attracting pests. It's easier to bury the scraps. This creates more surface area for microbes to work in. Your feeding technique is the burial method. Never just dump food on top of the bedding. Always bury it. First, the trench method. Mentally divide your bin into 4 to 6 sections. Week 1, push the bedding aside in section 1, add food, and cover completely with bedding. Week 2, feed section 2. Week 3, feed section 3, and so on. By the time you return to section 1, the food is mostly processed. This works because it prevents overfeeding any area, it ensures even distribution, it is easy to track what's been fed, and it prevents buildup in one spot. Here is the desired burial depth. Push down 2 to 3 inches into the bedding, add food, Cover up with at least 1 to 2 inches of bedding on top. This prevents fruit flies and odors. If food is visible, you're asking for problems. What if bedding is too compacted to bury easily? Fluff it up. Add more bedding. Bedding should stay light and airy, not dense and compacted. Here is the big issue. How much should you feed? This is where everyone messes up. The rule is simple, but counterintuitive. Here is the one rule. Don't add new food until the previous feeding is mostly gone. That's 80 to 90% processed. For new bins in the first month, start with 1 to 2 cups of scraps per week. That's it. It seems like nothing, but it's enough. Your bin needs time to establish its microbial ecosystem. The bacteria and fungi do most of the work. Worms just accelerate it. After the first month, gradually increase based on how quickly food disappears. If last week's food is mostly gone, add a bit more this week. Here is the typical mature bin capacity. 1 pound of worms processes roughly 3 to 4 pounds of scraps per week. But remember, your population is growing constantly. Here are signs that you're feeding the right amount. Food mostly disappears within 5 to 7 days. Bedding stays fluffy, not compacted. There are no bad odors. Worms are active throughout the bin. Here are signs of overfeeding. Visible food from weeks ago. It's got a sour or rotten smell. There are fruit flies. Worms are clustering at the surface trying to escape. It's got a wet, slimy texture. If you overfeed, stop feeding completely. Add dry bedding. Stir gently to aerate. Wait 2 to 3 weeks until things balance out. It's better to underfeed than overfeed. Underfed worms just eat more bedding, which is fine. Overfed bins become disasters. Feeding consistency matters more than its frequency. Weekly feeding is best for most people. Pick a specific day each week so you don't forget. For larger households, feed smaller amounts more frequently, Wednesday and Sunday, for example. Feeding every 10 to 14 days for small households is totally fine. Just remember to maintain consistency. Here's what's not to do. Do not feed randomly whenever you have scraps. This makes it impossible to track what's happening in your bin. On your first feeding after adding worms, wait 3 to 5 days. Let them acclimate. Then start with a small amount, maybe 1 cup of scraps, and see how they handle it. Here's an important concept to know. Worm bins need balanced carbon and nitrogen. Give them browns, which are carbon. Examples are paper, cardboard, and dry leaves. Give them greens, which are nitrogen, food scraps, and coffee grounds. The ratio is roughly 50-50 by volume. Every time you feed greens, add a layer of shredded browns on top. This maintains balance, controls moisture, prevents odors, and deters fruit flies. If your bin gets too wet or smelly, you have too much nitrogen. Add more browns. That's dry bedding. If processing slows down, you might need more nitrogen. Add a bit more food or coffee grounds. If you need vermicomposting supplies, my affiliate links are in the description. Have a look. Follow the rules above and feeding becomes automatic. The next video covers harvesting your worm castings. Until then, let's keep learning and growing.